Welcome to Caseback Watches. My name is Tim, and in this episode I'd like to speak about Vostok, comrade, Vostok and the Cold War. This Vostok here on my wrist was sent to me by a viewer of the channel. He was in need of minor help with a small case, and I helped him out, and as a thank you he sent me this Vostok. And I saw images first of the watch and I thought, well, yeah, I don't know if I find this so interesting. Then the watch arrived and I thought, wow, what's this? This is a really special timepiece. And you know why? Not because of the price. They're damn cheap. Not because of the quality or the specifications or the technology in it. No, it stands for a certain history. And this is the Cold War. The Cold War with this weird aesthetic. You see something which is outdated and at the same time ready for action, seems pretty dangerous. If you imagine, for example, the cockpit of a B-52 in the 60s, like in the movie Dr. Strangelove by Stanley Kubrick, and this cockpit, and you see it, and today it looks super outdated, but at the same time it looks ready for action. It seems damn dangerous, and this I have a strong weakness for this. So in this video I'd like to draw your attention to the watch, and I want to give you two recommendations, no actually four recommendations. I've read 2 books about the Cold War I find very interesting, and I want to recommend to you. And then I saw a very interesting computer game about the Cold War, the first computer game on Caseback watches, and let's see, that could be really interesting for us. And a documentary here on YouTube. And so I think we have 10 to 15 minutes here loaded with Cold War items and the fascinating aesthetic of this period of time. And so stay with me, I think this will be interesting. By the way, especially for this video, I've changed the decoration of my little study a bit. I found again my Seiko World Time clock. I thought this was very special, and then I found out that nearly every watch YouTuber has this watch or a variation of this. This is the best variation with the wood, by the way. But now let's go to the first watch, the first book I want to recommend to you. The Doomsday Machine, written by Daniel Ellsberg. Everybody knows what a Doomsday Machine is. If not, then you should watch the Stanley Kubrick film Dr. Strangelove or How I've Learned to Love the Bomb. A Doomsday Machine is very simple. One side fires a missile on the other side at the other side. So for example, the United States fires a missile to the Soviet Union back then in the Cold War, and this ignites the Doomsday Machine. And the Doomsday Machine is a counterattack all out, unstoppable, without human influence in it. And this was the scary thing. The Doomsday Machine, there is no false alert or something like that. There is no room for errors. If the Doomsday Machine detects a missile hit, then it will launch the counterattack all out and will destroy the planet. Will destroy both sides, will destroy every part of human life on Earth. And by the way, in Stanley Kubrick's film, Dr. Strangelove, there you can find this Cold War aesthetic at best. You see all this scenery which looks totally outdated, but at the same time on alert and dangerous and really, really ready for action. So it's a fascinating movie, and if you not have seen this movie, then you should. And Daniel Ellsberg now was some kind of father of whistleblowers, because he was an advisor for several US administrations in the 60s, 70s. So we're talking about the Vietnam War, for example. So he could see everything, basically everything. And Daniel Ellsberg found out back then that both sides, the United States and the Soviet Union, had invented the Doomsday Machine without knowing it. The Doomsday Machine back then was hidden in the command structure and in the information, in the communication lines. And he found out that there were several scenarios in the 60s and 70s and even in the 80s which could have ignited the Doomsday Machine and end of human history. So it's a very, very scary book. It's not exactly an easy read because he is an intellectual, and he explains every bit, every detail, but it's scary, fascinating, very comprehensive, without any images in it, unfortunately. But big recommendation. I am talking here in December 2019. It's not exactly a Christmas topic, I'm realizing now. But okay, let's proceed. Second book is The Spy and the Traitor, written by Ben McIntyre, and this is the subtitle is The Greatest Espionage Story of the Cold War, and this is exactly it. if you want espionage, if you want drop-off points, if you want safe houses and interceptors, and if you want to have a closer look to the KGB and MI6, then this is your book. It's the story of the KGB officer Oleg Gordievsky, who was a spy for MI6 over some decades and was I think the most valuable spy in the history of MI6. And this is easy to read. It's in fact a page turner, and it has some images in it. I really love if non-fiction book has some good images in it. And so, big recommendation, The Spy and the Traitor. And what's fascinating with both books, and which is astonishing and frightening, are the characters in it. The real people, and sometimes you see they're very capable persons, but sometimes you see insanity with high ranks, with really high ranks. People, for example, who really thought that nuclear war could have a winner. And on both sides. You could see this on the US side and on the Soviet side. So very, very scary. You find, by the way, Amazon affiliate links to these books in the descriptions, okay? So you don't have any trouble to find them. And now let's go to something free. I found a really interesting documentary here on YouTube about the Minuteman rocket in the United States. The documentary was made in the 60s, so you have this distinctive look, this Cold War aesthetic. And the title was, let me check my notes, From Design to Delivery. 1 hour here on YouTube, link in the descriptions, about the development of the Minuteman rocket. And there you can see how nuclear forces really work. So I found this very interesting. The quality is a little bit poor, right, because 60s, but I think you will not exactly enjoy it, but I think you will find it interesting if you are in this topic. Okay, and now it's time for the computer game. I've spent some years with computer gaming, I must say, not all day long, of course, but I've played a lot of Battlefield and Viet Cong. And some months ago, I tested War Thunder as a German tank commander. Very crazy situation. And it's a great game, by the way. It's a really great game. But I found it frustrating to compete with people who spend years on those servers and they kill you in some seconds. And so I quit. My nick there was... no, I don't want to reveal my nick. My statistics are too bad. But I've saw a review of Terminal Conflict, and I don't know if this is a recommendation because I haven't played that game. Maybe you have, and then please let us know in the comments if it's good or not. But what I found really appealing is the title and the look and the engine behind it. Terminal, of course, stands for the terminal, the termination, the last conflict, which will erase everything. But at the same time, the terminal there stands for the terminal. An old computer, and there you have your operation in this weird color and this sound like those old machineries for information, and you play there United States or the Soviet Union on all theaters in the Middle East, in Alaska, in Europe. You can see there both sides of the Iron Curtain, and you play through the Cuba Missile Crisis, through the crisis around Able Archer and all those scenarios. And so very, very interesting. I love the look of this game. I was close to make a screensaver with a thing or a wallpaper or something like that. So very interesting. But again, I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's entertaining. And so if you think this is a good game for viewers here on the channel, then let us know in the comments, please. So this was my recommendation for a computer game. I mean, my mother will hate this video because I present you here the Cold War as something to play with because I wasn't involved, right? But my parents, for example, they were involved as citizens in Germany, very close to the Iron Curtain. And so let's not forget, this thing was very close to a hot war, and it's very severe and serious historical topic. But sometimes you have to play with serious topics, right? And so I think I will proceed here now with the Lightbox. Let's go in the Lightbox. Yeah, let's go in the Lightbox. Let's check our Vostok here. Okay, here we are with our Vostok. Vostok or Vostok, I don't know. And I think you can see what I mean when I say this is a very crazy aesthetic, a very weird or let's say odd look. It looks in a way cheap, yes, in a way cheap, but with some reason behind this cheapness, I feel. I don't know if this makes any sense, but yeah, it's the way I see this watch. And let's go over the basics first. The case form is weird. It's like an egg. It's 42 millimeters and 38. Very strange case form. I've never seen a case form like that. And you can see here very dominant crown guards on both sides to give it a more symmetrical look. And this is a plexi, as you can hear, or I don't know if you can hear this. In fact, there it is. And the dial is, yeah, what is it? Tin metal. I don't know, to be frank. I think tin metal with a little bit varnish on it. The case back is very pure. There you can see it. I don't know if this is the original crown, by the way, because Cormac assembled this watch by hand. He repaired it and put a new movement in it and everything, and regulated it, and it runs pretty good. Runs pretty good. And it came with another strap, which I like, but I like more this Eichmüller strap with those rivets. By the way, the rivets are not true. See that? They don't go through the metal, the leather. This is a downside, of course, but I really like the look together with this type of Tulia watch. The question is, are they tool watches? Are they robust, or is this a Soviet Union dress watch? The latter, I think. They're not robust. They're not waterproof, I suppose. And so I think this was seen back then more as a dress piece. And what I like is the font, this very light font, Vostok, and there you can see very small, there's made in CCCP, so made in the Soviet Union. This was manufactured in the 80s, I found out, with the help of some other people on Instagram. And the movement feels pretty basic. It's hand winding, it's fully wound now. And yeah, you can operate it like every normal watch. But I want to show you the quick set. The quick set is interesting. You don't see this on many watches. There it is. And now you go back. Now, okay, there you are. You know what? I'm in the mood to open this thing. Why not open this? And then we can see the movement. Let's open it. Wait, if I can find my case opener. And now let's open it. Okay, ready? All right. Don't want to scratch the watch too bad. On the other hand, it's mine, right? Can do whatever I want with it. Impossible. Let's not open it. Very sorry. I don't want to ruin the thing, so let's not open it. I cannot open it. Very sorry. So overall, this watch doesn't stand for, let's say, qualities and production standards and something like that. It stands for clearly for a time, for a certain aesthetic. This is what I see here. Okay, welcome back. I think we're at the end of this video. I think I presented you everything I know about the Cold War. And little invitation, if you like, then join me on Instagram. I show there as well watches, but also other topics and a lot of backstory. And so I think sometimes can be interesting for you. And I want to mention, of course, the Instagram side of Cormac, who sent me this watch. It's The Radio Room. Check it out if you're into Russian watches. And now let me thank you very much for your attention, and maybe until next time.